A ticket to the Frozen Four is on the line today at Denny Sanford Premier Center in Sioux Falls. A familiar stage, a familiar feeling of pressure for BU fans and Minnesota fans coming in for what should be a really good matchup. BU's been to 23 Frozen Fours. Minnesota has been to 23 Frozen Fours. These two blue bloods of college hockey meeting up in Sioux Falls, trying to punch a ticket to the Frozen Four. Let's take a peek at how they got here. So BU beat RIT in the regional semifinal on Thursday. Minnesota had a comeback win to beat Omaha on Thursday night as well, and set up what should be a very, very fun matchup as we get ready to welcome you inside. Jason Ross Jr. alongside Paul Cavanagri, pumped up for this one. Cappy, two royalties in college hockey, and two teams that met up in the Frozen Four a season ago, rematched today in the regional final.
Yeah, this should be a ton of fun. So much experience on the ice. Yeah, there are some new names from last year's semifinal in the Frozen Four, but there's going to be a lot of juice, a lot of hype. I can't wait. Let's get going.
Well, a lot of talent in this game. Let's start with the projected #1 overall draft pick in the NHL. It'll be Macklin Celebrini for BU. He is going to be fun to watch today.
Yeah, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, he's 17 years old. He should be in high school, but look at those numbers he's been putting up. He did not disappoint on Thursday night. Had a goal and an assist. Great play by his line mates here, but he is a finisher and an absolute dynamic player for the BU offense. And for the Golden Gophers, they go with some veteran guys. They rely on Jackson Nelson, down 2-1 late in that game, scored 2 goals in the third period. The fifth-year senior helped boost them. Bryce Brodzinski right on his side, making passes on both plays. And the other fifth senior, we don't see, Justin Close, dynamic at the end of that game to finish it off, ready for tonight.
Speaking of goalies, there's Matthew Caron for BU. He was probably the MVP of the first 10 minutes of that game against RIT. Had some big saves, then his team backed it up not too long after that. You mentioned also Justin Close, the experience that he brings between the pipes for Minnesota. Just has been so good all season long. He is amped up for today and was immensely important down the stretch in that Omaha game. Here we go. Minnesota and BU, two royalties in college hockey, back on the ice together in this regional final, trying to punch a ticket to the Frozen Four. And here we go. Denny Sanford Premier Center, the stage for this matchup. First, let's take a look at Jay Pandolfo, the head coach for BU. Well, he played for BU and played not only for BU but in 2 Frozen Fours, one of which beat Minnesota to get to the national championship game that they ended up winning. That was in 1995. So not only has experience as a coach against Minnesota, but as a player as well.
Some good memories along with, you know, his first year getting the Frozen Four, unable to beat them last year, but as a player has some good memories against the Golden Gophers.
He's trying to create some more good memories today. They beat RIT on Thursday, 6 goals, 6 different goal scores in that game for BU. Sam Stevens is one of them. He just flicked the puck ahead out to center ice here for Devin Kaplan, who will dip it into the Minnesota zone. Talented D-core for Minnesota. Bob Motzko told us our group mentioned Jackson Nelson scored not only the game-tying goal, but also the game-winning goal. He is the epitome of that leadership. We're driven by our leadership, our D-core this year. On the back end, Chesley will play it up ahead here to Brodzinski. Who's also very important with the 2 assists in that game against Omaha on Thursday. Shane LeChance plays it up to Celebrini, part of this freshman unit for BU that is so talented. They can fly and come at you in waves. We saw that on display Thursday night. Talk about Bob Motzko, head coach for Minnesota. He was an assistant on their back-to-back national championship teams in the early 2000s. They came so close last year. Beat BU in the Frozen Four, 6-2. Probably a closer game than that score would indicate. Then went on to have the overtime loss to Quinnipiac in the national title game. Turning the page, though, from that. They worked all year to get back to this point. Now they're 1 game away from getting back to the Frozen Four. Unfinished business. Early save from Close. Rebound chance goes wide off the stick blade of Lane Hudson, who was excellent in the win over RIT the other day. He had a beautiful goal on the backhand in front of the net. Jack Harvey put a shot on net there. He was also really good in that game. Tried to go across the seam there. Did Hudson over to Celebrini. Couldn't quite get it to him. Ultimately, Minnesota gets possession back. Puck available at center. Who can find it? It's Harvey, who was seemingly all over the ice the other night. Picking up where he left off. Now Lane Hudson once again dancing in. Clean entry for Hudson. And a shot that was blocked by Chesley. Jimmy Clark, who scored his first goal since late November for Minnesota the other night, was able to get the puck out to center ice. And it was a big goal for Clark, followed up by another from Nelson in that win over Omaha. Moving in once again, here come the Terriers. Trying to drag there was Green. Couldn't quite get a shot off. Quinn Hudson, brother of Lane, entangled over there along the wall in front of the Minnesota bench, and he pried it free. In by his lonesome into the zone. Got a shot on close, fends that off easily. Now the puck gets out to center for Ty Gallagher. Clarkston, Michigan native, comfortable in his own end. He'll back it up here with both teams changing time and space to get out to center. And Zabonnet does that quickly. Going into the Minnesota end, swept away off his stick there by Kester. Good fun start to this one. Up and down we go. Along the wall, tapping it down. Case McCarthy, the pinching defenseman.
BU has come out blazing. Couple really good shifts, but they've got an easy entry into the offensive zone. Lane Hudson he's the one defensive player for BU that can literally change the game for them. He's a fourth forward out there. He's so elusive, and he started off really well.
On the ice once again, 20 and white for BU. And if you're Minnesota, Cappy, your keys on their side today.
Well, I mean, you got to get off to a better start tonight. They were a little slow against Omaha. You cannot afford to do that against a BU team with their type of offensive weapons. Need to get off to a first. They haven't yet, but that's something they have to turn around real quick.
Bob Motzko said this year it's been more of us having to punch back and be resilient. That's exactly what they did when they went down against Omaha on Thursday. Got the comeback win thanks in large part to Bryce Brodzinski's creativity. Goes cross ice there. Looking for Nevers now out in front. Nearly created a chance for Oliver Moore.
Speed for Moore, his biggest weapon, the first rounder. The Chicago Blackhawks flying down the wing.
Speaking of flying, there's that freshman line for BU, but they'll have to get back on defense here. Kurth moving in, and a shot that goes wide. Carl Fish trying to keep it into the zone, couldn't. Snuggerud attempting to sidestep the hit of Harvey. Nice defensive play from Harvey. Snuggerud rips it back and puts it into his own end. BU takes this time to get a change in. Kurth steps in. Snuggerud shot fended off there by Karan. Carl Fish sends it towards the cage. Now Snuggerud back on it. Dancing, and this is the personnel for Minnesota that can get buzzing in a hurry. Nice defensive play there from Quinn Hudson. Talked about Lane. Quinn is superb offensively and defensively. He'll feed it ahead here to Celebrini. Speaking of superb players offensively. Slips it over back to Hudson. Now dumps it into the corner. Fish put it to the line, but not out. There's the other Hudson, Lane, stopping up on his edges. Now puts it over to Hughes, a shot. Rebound out in front of the net, spills away back to the point. Lane Hudson there to hold it in. Good start to this game for this talented, youthful BU team. Average age of about 21 years old. One of the younger teams in college hockey. 14 NHL draft picks on this roster. Lane Hudson dancing down the wall, and a shot there. Jack Hughes below the goal line. Chesley put a shoulder into him. Puck squirts free. Who can find it in the corner? Loose change. Crowd. Oh, what a move there. Now curling around is Green. Back up to the point. Gallagher. Lane Hudson. Minnesota on their heels a bit here. Green gets it back. And they are unable to clear. Back up to the point. Not a good play there from the Gophers. Fresh off the bench is Wilmer. Can Minnesota just get this puck out? Desperately trying to do so, and they will. But a quick re-entry for BU. Might catch Minnesota in a change here as well. Fed up the slot, a shot there! And a beautiful save from close. Right on Peterson. Boy, BU, Cappy, made a change, and Minnesota made a change. BU nearly caught him in it.
survival more. It's just amazing right now, the difference when BU has Lane Hudson out there.
Now side of the net, Gophers trying to go back to work in the offensive zone. They'll flick it out in front of the penalty box where it's corralled by Luke Middlestat. One of two Middlestat brothers on this Minnesota roster. John Middlestat, the other, who wears 19. His brother Luke wears 20.
High stick from BU. The faceoff will stay in zone. What a save. Justin Close. Pressure on the Gophers. He answers with the glove.
Draw a shot, rebound out in front, and the Gopher fans thought they had something there.
Might have got the post, Jason. Shot from Renzel.
Now Thomas will feed it over to Renzel. A second chance. Brodzinski out in front, and Brodzinski will get back on the puck, curl around the net of Karan. Wrist shot, score! Jackson Nelson's third of this NCAA tournament.
Holy smokes, just get the man the puck. Absolutely on fire. Good puck movement. This was just after a puck off the post from Renzel. Brodzinski keeps the play alive, and why not again? The same two guys from Thursday night tag it up again. Not a great angle, but a perfect shot. Beats him on the far side. Jackson Nelson carrying the load for the Gophers. Unbelievable streak he's on right now.
When 22 and 24 on the ice for Minnesota, look out. That connection hooks up again. Brodzinski and Nelson, and it's Minnesota on the board first in this regional final.
11th goal in his past 8 games, not even 8 games, 7+. And an on-fire March for the Golden Gophers.
And today is Jackson Nelson's birthday. It's a big hit from Case McCarthy on Nevers. Along the near side, Nevers pops up. Bob Motzko's birthday was the other day. Jackson Nelson's birthday today. Ton of Gopher birthdays, and they're starting off by celebrating a goal from Jackson Nelson. Now here's Snuggerud, St. Louis Blues first-round draft pick. He can move quickly. One of 13 NHL draft picks on the Minnesota roster. There are 27 combined in this game. Ton of talent. We're seeing it on display early in this hockey game. You mentioned the game changes when Lane Hudson, who you're looking at right now, is on the ice for BU. Plays it out. Nice hit there from Oliver Moore. Starts up Minnesota into the BU zone. Lamb lost it. Back out to center ice and down into the Gopher end. 11:16 to go in the opening period. 1-0 Gophers, nearly halfway through the first frame. Jimmy Clark will put it into the BU zone. Now pounce on it. Garrett Pinanimi in the corner there for Minnesota, trying to take the puck away, doing some good work on the forecheck there.
Good shift from the fourth line. You have that fourth line on there against Lane Hudson. Have some offensive zone time. That's a win for the Golden Gophers.
Once again, they are standing up at their own blue line, not allowing a clean entry. Rhett Pitlick will just flick it down into the BU zone.
Kind of did his little dance at the line with that puck. Finally found it in his feet.
Speaking of finding pucks in your feet, the Ryan Leonard goal, how about that?
I mean,
yesterday.
Washington Capitals, you think they weren't excited to see that goal? Oh my goodness.
The inside edge of his skate to his stick.
For a one-timer.
That was nice. We know the winner of this one will go on to play Denver in the Frozen Four. They have punched the first ticket to St. Paul. Who can punch the next one? It's Minnesota up 1-0 early off of Jackson Nelson's goal. Their captain, who has been immensely important for them in the postseason and all year long, showing up once again. BU had the hot start, didn't turn into a goal. They'll just get a change in here. Third straight time these teams have met up in a postseason game in the NCAA tournament when you look at the series history. Here's Nelson, got to look out when he's on the ice, fed it up the slot. Now to Rinzel, waltzing down the wall, centering pass for Brodzinski, and it gets out. Let's go Gopher chants starting to break out. Most of their Gopher fans spreading right behind the glass in this particular zone. Now out to LeChance at center ice. Patiently feeds it ahead to Macklin Celebrini. His freshman line for BU. Thrown out to center and over the glass. 8:50 to go. First period. 1-0 Minnesota. It is flying by at an up and down pace.
You can kind of see that goal definitely settled down the Gophers. BU had carried the play the first 5-7 minutes. But now the Gophers have had a few shifts. Like I said, I haven't called Lane Hutson's name as much, more in his defensive zone than the offensive zone. Obviously, if you're a Terrier fan, you want to see more of what you saw those first 5 minutes, because Lane Hutson and his crew were all over the Golden Gophers.
Ryan Green, Quinn Hudson, and Jack Hughes out there now for BU, that forward line. And Hughes will just launch it into the glove of Close. Minnesota up 1-0. It's Jackson Nelson with the game opening goal to put his team on top in this regional final here in Sioux Falls. Tournament it has been so far. Yesterday kind of felt like overtime day. All these we're about to show you came in a span of about 24 hours. This is Denver, who we mentioned is now going on to the Frozen Four. They had an OT winner. Michigan State had an OT winner over Western Michigan. And then Quinnipiac against Wisconsin in what was an amazing game yesterday. Really fun one to watch. They had an OT winner as well. See Tristan Brose for Denver, Jeremy Davidson for Michigan State, and Victor Chernesky and Air for Quinnipiac. What's in store for us here? Should be a fun one. It has been so far to this point. If you tuned in late, Jackson Nelson, the lone goal for Minnesota. There's a one-timer from Quinn Hudson. Gobbled up by Close. Step aside, be right back here in Sioux Falls. 8:39 to go in the first. There's the Arc of Dreams here in Sioux Falls. Both of these teams dreaming to go into a Frozen Four.
South Dakota, we are joined by University of Minnesota head coach Bob Motzko. Bob, I thought BU had a little bit of the better play early, but the last 5 you guys have brought it. What did you see that changed things?
Yeah, we missed a couple coverages right off the bat. I mean, they're awful talented, but we're settling back in right now. Getting pucks deep, and we're getting all the lines going.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Fourth straight season that Minnesota has won at least 20 games under Bob Motzko. They were so close last year to that elusive national title, trying to get back to a Frozen Four this year, and off to a good start thanks in large part to the man you're watching skate with the puck right now, Nelson. He'll dump it in deep. Put a hit on Lane Hudson, centering pass. Room was out in front there. Now Nelson again, and Karan with the point-blank save.
Wow, the puck is just finding Jackson Nelson. But a good pass from Brodzinski to the Nevers in the middle. Little jumble, comes back to 24 in front, but Karan says no this time. But this line's been dangerous, although Ryan Green won 3 straight offensive zone face-offs against Jackson Nelson before that rush to the other end.
Like you said, puck is just finding Nelson right now.
And if you're a player, you really, when you ask someone, they don't really know how that, you just say, I hope it, you just want that streak, just like a lucky golfer. Hey, keep the streak alive as long as you can, ride it out, and keep shooting the puck, because he's scoring from all over the ice.
You know those feelings as a golfer.
Yeah, once in a while.
Breaking out through center once again here are the Gophers. Kester, who we talked to the other day, will put it in. Snuggerud, dangerous line out here for Minnesota, but raked free, and now carrying the puck the opposite direction is Zabonnet. He has a lot of speed, entered this tournament with 5 goals in 9 games. Puck played back out to center where BU corrals it. After not meeting for 10 years straight, it's the second straight year these teams have met up in the NCAA tournament. A lot of history between these two programs. Each have been to 23 Frozen Fours. We were texting earlier, Capri, this is kind of like the rubber match. Who can get to the next one?
Yeah, the bragging rights until the next time, but it's amazing what you're seeing. I think this is better for college hockey. Yes, you want some new and exciting programs to do things, but when you get this kind of a matchup to get to the Frozen Four, almost as exciting as in the Frozen Four of last year.
BU won the Manchester Regional Final last year. You were there by beating Cornell 2-1. Before that loss to Minnesota, 6-2 in the Frozen Four. Now Tuck passed out in front, looking for Stevens, and a save from Close.
Great keep in by McCarthy there, set that all up.
Now we're at Pitlick the opposite way, Arister up into the netting.
I tell you, what a great job by McCarthy to keep that in. It looked like it had nothing going on, and then Tuck makes that pass across. Justin Close is on his game right now.
The NCAA Men's Ice Hockey Championship is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Best time of the year. BU won their first ever national title in 1971. They beat Minnesota in that game 4-2. That NCAA title game in Syracuse, New York. Ended up winning another the next year. BU's last national title came in 2009.
Yep. Our colleague, Colby Cohen.
Game winner.
Sure he'll like a little shout out there. But you're seeing right now the Jackson Nelson line's playing a lot. Why is that? They've been playing well, getting scoring chances. I also think with the TV timeouts, with those breaks, and you had 2 in a row in this late juncture in the period, you have that opportunity as a coach to play your top guys or the guys that are going well a lot more often.
Speaking of top guys, Macklin Celebrini's line on the ice right now. LaChance and Harvey out there as well with them, that forward unit. Hudson pinching down the wall. Minnesota flicks it out. Macklin Celebrini back on it at his own line. Over to Lane Hudson, so dynamic. He'll cruising over the Minnesota line, stop up, showcasing his edge work. And now LaChance tried to go across the seam there, but intercepted by Nevers, and he will clear.
Yeah, good defensive play, staying patient. Keeping sticks on the ice, too. Those seam passes can be so dangerous in your own zone. You start staring at that puck. You're not looking for the backdoor player.
Some danger here. Moving in is Green. A shot saved by Close.
See Justin Close, very confident. Look how far out he is. Above the top of his crease. Gobbles that one up. Doesn't give a rebound. Ryan Green scoring that goal.
You mentioned to me.
R.I.T.
Yeah, you mentioned Ryan Green's had a couple of clean face-off wins in a row when he's been out there.
3 in a row against Jackson Nelson in that last sequence. Jimmy Clark doing a good job on that one.
Minnesota's win over Omaha in the regional semifinal is their 62nd NCAA tournament victory all time, most of any college program. Another example of the history between two programs that we have on display today. John Middlestat tried to play it back to Chesley. He does. Loads up a reload from Chesley. Laying out his body was Cade Weber right in front of the net.
That looked like Chesley didn't get that much on that one.
Weber, 6'7", 216, laid every inch of his body out there to block what was coming at him.
Another good shift from the fourth line of the Golden Gophers.
You've liked that unit so far. Clark Pinanini and John Middlestat.
They're a meat and potatoes type of line. Keep it simple. Just try to get momentum on their team's side.
John's brother Luke, who's a defenseman out on the ice right now. 1-0 Minnesota. Final 5 minutes of this opening period. We'll be right back here in Sioux Falls. take a look at the bracket here. So the winner of this game will go on to play Denver in the Frozen Four. We'll see Boston College Quinnipiac set to play Sunday 4 Eastern time on ESPN2, and then an in-state rivalry, Michigan State and Michigan.
Your home state.
I believe for the 6th time this year, Michigan State and Michigan will play. That's going to be a fun one.
Tom Izzo will be back in the building tomorrow. That's the big question. Brought some luck late for the Spartans.
I was just looking on Twitter, Cappy, just seeing some funny stuff from Minnesota fans. And one thing I saw was they said they felt like they had to take a shower after rooting for Michigan and Michigan State yesterday.
That weird day.
Yeah. Jay Pandolfo, head coach for BU, told us he felt his team didn't really start on time the other day, and they didn't manage the game well. It felt like they had a good start today, but then, like you said, these teams are so talented, it can turn on a dime just like that. Minnesota scores first.
Yeah, I mean, they had the first 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah, you see the just outstanding career as a player, and then how, you know, not a bad start to his coaching career. Takes his team to the Frozen Four in his first full season.
A couple of Stanley Cups with the New Jersey Devils as an NHLer as well in the early 2000s.
But, you know, just getting back to that point is, oh, wait a second.
Oliver Moore in this line, they can come at you in a hurry. Speaking of lines, they can come at you in a hurry. Maybe a 2-on-1 with Celebrini and LaChance. They'll drop it off for Lane Hudson. Little drag to the net. Couldn't quite get the shot off. Harvey back on it in the corner now. Up to the point for Willander. And now Macklin, Celebrini can go to work. Connor Kurth watching him tightly. Puts it in back of the net of Close. A battle behind there. Celebrini comes over to sweep it aside. Snuggerud will put it out to center ice. And now Minnesota getting a change in right now. Karan fends that off. Snuggerud still out there. Snuggerud looks and shoots. That's blocked. Nice play there from Harvey. Maybe the tail end of a shift. In the corner, Minnesota digs it out. Perhaps a bit of a tired unit out here right now for BU. Harvey's going to get off.
Yeah, that was a really good job by Minnesota coming back to their zone. It looked like Celebrini and Hudson were going to have a rush. They found their back check. Were able to get the puck out of danger.
Here's Jackson Nelson, the star of the show for Minnesota so far. Stick broke could mean danger the opposite way. Here comes BU. Stevens trailing the play, pulling up with it is Kaplan. And Fish back there wreaking some havoc for Minnesota. Was able to knock Stevens to the ice. Good play to get back from the Gophers. Now they'll go back the other way with Brodzinski.
Another instance of the Gophers look like they have a little trouble.
They create trouble here and add on to this lead. Brodzinski, 2-0 Minnesota.
He's been waiting a while to score. Last goal back in January. But a good forecheck again. Brodzinski kind of starts it. Puck moves to the corner. McCarthy had a great play earlier in the game. The turnover there up the wall, and then Brodzinski uses Weber in front for the screen. A quick shot to the glove side of Karan. He buries it for a 2-0 Gopher lead.
What a start for the Gophs. And now right back the other way. Always have to keep an eye on that shift after a goal. Net gets knocked off. Let's look at the Bryce Brodzinski goal again.
Yeah, I mean, right here, good job by Huglin. Forced the turnover. Pitlick, I think, might have been looking for Huglin there. Both guys right. And he snaps it over the glove. Bryce Brodzinski's had a history of coming up big in regionals for the Gophers. And he's on that prowl again. 2 assists Thursday night. Now a goal and an assist in this game. Fifth-year seniors are doing the job for the Golden Gophers.
Close, that just squeaked through, and BU answers right back. Wow. Win Hudson was able to tack that in. And look at this, just, wow, right off the draw here.
Yeah, almost just, you hear the building in shock, but a really good play there by Hudson. And Justin Close just kind of got, I don't know, do I get it with my stick? Do I not? And that puck squeaks through. You watch the angle here as Pad kind of kicks it in. The BU Terriers will take that. Hits them some life here late in the first period. Quinn Hudson's 18th of the year. The older brother, same year in school, older brother of Lane Hudson, puts it by Close, and really Close have been so perfect up until that point. We'll see if this can kind of turn the tide. BU, we're about to get to that point where we're going to talk about how BU started so well, then the Gophers took over. We'll see if that goal will kind of turn the tide back into BU's fortune.
Quinn Hudson's been so good in the postseason, 5 goals in his last 3 games now. His brother Lane out there, got to look out here. Snuggerud, danger time, little drag move. Snuggerud, oh! And a save by Karan.
What a play. I thought Jimmy Snuggerud was going to be a key today. The Gophers were going to be able to get things going. Thought he might shoot it there. I think Wilbur thought the same thing. Good back pressure from BU. Snuggerud probably wanted to go high glove there. Wasn't able to get that on, but fancy play there by 81.
Shot from Renzel, rebound available, swept aside by Celebrini. Now back towards the net of Karan, fended off once again. Every time you look up, got to keep your head on a swivel in this matchup. 1:16 to go in the opening period. Feels like a lot of time left with how these last couple of shifts have gone. Anything can happen on any given shift. Macklin Celebrini will sweep it into the Minnesota zone. Approaching the final minute now of an entertaining opening period. Brodzinski hops in. Nelson was calling for it, his partner in crime, who he's already linked up with once today. Nelson in the vicinity. Now in below the goal line. Minnesota backs off, gets a change in here. Time and space to breathe for Hollander and Weber back there on defense. Hollander hops off the ice. Lane Hudson hops on. Wreaking havoc on the forecheck is Pitlick. The speed of Lane Hudson trying to elude him. He'll whip it down the wall. Around it goes. Lamb came up with it. Gophers get it out. 30 seconds to go opening period. Gavin McCarthy crunched up against the wall behind his own net. Can Minnesota perhaps create a couple more chances in this first period? That puck goes out of play with 11.1 to go in the first period.
That puck went so high, it went over the netting. Souvenir for the crowd. But it doesn't look like that goal affected the Golden Gophers play. Almost like it bothered him, gave him a little, made him a little ornery. They let that up, and they pushed the pace again here in this last few minutes.
Face-off won by the Gophers, up to Kester. Off the skate of Kaplan and out of play. Last year, Minnesota found themselves being the ones to deliver the first punch so often. Omaha threw the first punch the other day, and Minnesota had to respond. Today, it's BU responding. 2-1 game, 4.8 to go in this opening period that has been so fun.
Yeah, it really has, kind of back and forth. You could argue BU threw the first punch. Yeah, they didn't score the first goal, but they did carry the pace early. It's been mostly Minnesota after that. We'll see what that goal can do for BU.
The 28th all-time meeting between these two storied programs. It's been so good. 2-1 Minnesota after one. Let's send it to the studio with Arda and Andrew.
Hopefully they get him to come out. This is the tough end. Here he comes.
Welcome back. Denny Sanford Premier Center, this regional final between Minnesota and BU. It's a 2-1 Gopher lead after one period of play. It's been a really fun start to this matchup. Jason Ross Jr. and Paul Caponigri with you here. Cappy, I mean, that was a period that had everything you could possibly ask for. It's Minnesota getting off to the strong start, 2 goals, including one from Jackson Nelson. Your thoughts so far?
Just what I was hoping for. Fast-paced offensive chances. BU started the period really well. I thought they carried the first 5 minutes, but after that, Minnesota was the better team throughout the second half. The stats might not show it exactly in terms of shots, but, you know, Jackson Nelson really leading the way for Minnesota again. Bryce Brodzinski as well. Just fantastic stuff from the Gophers.
Let's take a look at the highlights from that opening period of action. There were 3 goals total, and very fittingly, it's Brodzinski to Nelson for the first.
Yeah, that really did change the momentum in the game. The Gophers had started to play a little better. That goal really got them going. Then they caused some turnovers. Bryce Brodzinski's first goal since January 27th. I'm sure that felt pretty good. But BU got a nice little break. Quinn Hudson made a really good play, blocking that puck from going out of play, and got the puck through just in close.
Take a look at the first period stats. So again, it was kind of a tale of 2 different sequences. The first 15 minutes, shots were 14-5 in favor of BU. Last 5 minutes, shots were 5-1 in favor of Minnesota. It was up and down. It was electric, and it was entertaining. Should be more of the same here in the second with a spot in the Frozen Four on the line. Justin Close just had one squeak through with a goal from Quinn Hudson that he would like to have back. Nonetheless, it was perhaps a pickup for BU and maybe something that could lead to more momentum here in the second period for the Terriers. Here's a chance that never quite got through. Jackson Nelson there to take the loose puck on this fresh sheet of ice, and now out to center comes Nevers, shrugging off a check, and he'll lead it in. Minnesota gets a change in. Devin Kaplan slips it out. Room to move for Stevens, who scored against RIT the other day. Dumps it in deep. It was a 6-3 win for BU over RIT. And this Minnesota group at a comeback win over Omaha. They come back into the zone here cleanly. Fish throws it toward the net, went wide. Puck bounces back out. Jack Harvey, Macklin Celebrini, and Shane Lachance on the ice. No pull up. Lachance! Shot! Score! Tied up in Sioux Falls.
Shane Lachance, the beneficiary. Look at that dangle from Macklin Celebrini. I don't know if he saw him there. There was some congestion in front there, but I don't think that was the Minnesota defender that stopped Justin Close from being able to go from post to post, and then Shane Lachance just buries it into the empty net. Macklin Celebrini, I'm going to give him like 80% credit on that pass, but that stick play he made just before that, really dynamic. Gives him that space to make it, and then Lachance buries it.
30th assist of the season for Celebrini, and one to add to his never-ending highlight reel. He projected first overall pick in the NHL draft. Doing some beautiful work there with that line that's been so potent all season long. And now they'll leave it off. Green, a shot saved by Close. Got to look at this pass again, Gabby.
Yeah, why not? I mean, maybe we'll see it a few more times tonight. But that pad, it's the handle through. Everyone's looking that way. 3-4 Gophers to that side of the play. Wings it around to Lachance, and I don't think too many guys are going to miss that one, but he puts it in, and we got a brand new ball game, folks. 2-2 here early in the second period.
So Minnesota scores the first 2. BU follows up with 2 of their own. And here we go. Reset things, tied up. Lane Hudson, a couple of dance moves down the wall. Green in the corner. Taking a bump there from Rinzel, who can find the puck. It's out. Minnesota on the move. Rhett Pitlick controls it into the zone. Lamb down the wall. Coming over to take it away was Dylan Peterson for BU. Played around, but not out. Now it is out, and Green's on the move. Able to elude around Jimmy Clark before he gets off the ice at the end of that shift. Minnesota trying to take advantage of some space.
I thought that was going to be a good dump in for BU, but everybody went for a change. And that green wrap went all the way around these lively boards.
Don't forget, these two games tomorrow going to be fun. Quinnipiac and Boston College, Michigan and Michigan State. Those two games for spots in the Frozen Four.
Talk about blue bloods. And
yeah.
Running a national champion from last year, going against the #1 team in the country. That's going to be awesome.
This one for a spot to play Denver.
National championship pedigrees all over the brackets.
Quinnipiac continued their overtime winning ways yesterday, beating Wisconsin in an excellent game. Of course, it was Minnesota who lost the national title a season ago to Quinnipiac, and it was an overtime winner at the very beginning of overtime that they're trying to get out of their minds, turn the page. Right now, trying to regroup and reset after BU has tied it at 2. Thanks to a beautiful, beautiful pass from Macklin Celebrini over to Shane LaChance for the game-tying goal.
Kind of things have settled a little bit. There hasn't been much going on. Neutral zone play, some back and forth. Jackson Nelson game, line back up at Macklin Celebrini. 17 years old, folks. He should be in high school right now. Instead, he's dominating college hockey. I'm just going to flat out say he's going to be the #1 pick in the draft.
Yep.
If someone wants to tell me differently, they're free to have that argument. But what he's doing right now at the college level is just spectacular. And he's putting it on display right now.
The film doesn't lie. When you get to see him in person, it is incredible. That puck deflected awkwardly. Now Peterson will step out for BU. Sidestepping Chesley. Fish trying to beat him to the punch and does. Now Jackson Nelson will sling it out to Brodzinski. Bryce Brodzinski's dad, Mike, played with Bob Motzko at St. Cloud State. He was telling us all sorts of fun stories about that yesterday. Now his son has scored in this game today. Here's Kaplan out to center. Wrist shot save made by Close on Stevens.
Good play by Stevens there.
There's a good play by Nelson. Nearly had another look at what could have been a grade A chance if it weren't for the defensive stick of Tom Willander, the talented young Swedish defenseman. First round pick, the Vancouver Canucks. Really bright future ahead. Now Cal Thomas, the sophomore from Maple Grove, Minnesota. Patient back there with Renzel. Puck off the stick of Moore. Chicago Blackhawks first round draft pick. Macklin Celebrini, got to keep your head up when he's on the ice. LaChance, who scored the goal off the assist from Celebrini in the corner there. Now Macklin comes over to play it up to the line. Will it get out? It won't. Celebrini still there with it in the circle. You mentioned there's so much speed, but it's so controlled with Celebrini. LaChance did well to just get that puck out. And now Harvey scores! This line for BU continues to cook in this second period.
What a shot. Young man who scored 40 goals last year in the USHL. Playing for the Chicago Steel, now on BU, playing on a line. Macklin Celebrini, good second effort by LaChance. Gets the puck to Celebrini, quick out to Harvey, and he buries it. Wow, what a perfect shot off the NCAA water bottle, and what a turn of events for Boston University.
So Harvey with 2 goals in 2 NCAA tournament games. He scored the other day as well. Racing after this puck is Quinn Hudson, who scored earlier for BU. Puck goes down the wall. It is 3 straight unanswered for the Terriers, and they're up 3-2 in this regional final. That line that we've talked about for BU of LaChance, Harvey, and Celebrini.
All freshmen.
Right. And you talk about Celebrini, of course. Harvey may be one of the most intriguing elements of it because he wasn't on it to begin the year. He was actually barely playing to begin the year. Then Jay Pandolfo inserts him on that line. By the way, you mentioned the numbers before. 40 goals before
the
coming
States
to
Hockey
BU.
League is really good.
Right. And he's able to go through that moment and not playing a ton. Did it with such poise, such class, such professionalism. And he has really found a groove, a really exceptional story for this BU program this season, Jack Harvey, and he has 2 goals in 2 NCAA tournament games. Willander now will sling it over to Lane Hudson, tight roping the line. That puck goes out of play.
Stick by Lamb there, but just...
Oh, it's Jack Harvey, the freshman and a Minnesota native, scoring the goal to put BU in front. There's Monday's featured ESPN Plus NHL matchup. The St. Louis Blues hosting the Edmonton Oilers. Coverage begins at 9 Eastern time. Should be a fun one. Well, let's take a look back. Last year in Tampa, Frozen 4, BU and Minnesota square off. Minnesota came out with the victory to reach the national title game. You see there Sam Stevens with the goal for BU. 4 of the 6 goals that were scored for Minnesota were from players that are still on the team this year.
Luke Middlestat with a pair of big goals. And you saw Logan Cooley there. A couple empty netters, the first rounder playing for the Arizona Coyotes now.
Oh, Pitlick nearly had a chance there on a long pass up to the BU line. By the way, Logan Cooley had a highlight goal after Minnesota's win the other day. Minnesota won and then went on social media and saw Logan Cooley had a goal.
Part of his hat
own.
trick, I believe,
right.
that night too. So a lot of good things happening on Thursday.
A part of the personnel that Minnesota, of course, lost from last year, had to adjust and adapt this year, and have done that. This BU team, you see second periods, and today out shooting Minnesota 4-0 so far, including the all-important goal to take the lead.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at 2 goals on 4. You know, he'll take that. If they, in the first period, they had a ton of shots but weren't able to score. Justin Close was really good in that first period. Different start to this period in terms of production and goals, but, you know, this is where Minnesota needs to try to flip the script as BU did to start the period.
Kyle Thomas will snap it around. Clark, that 4th line that you've liked on right now. Puck picked off in the slot. Nice play there to read it from Dylan Peterson. Now bobbled at the line, that'll be offside. For Minnesota so far, Bob Motzko talked about how disciplined he wanted his team to be today. They got to control the game and manage it. Do you feel like they've done that? That Celebrini pass was just so good.
Yeah, I mean, well,
the
they
last
haven't.
goal.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of discipline, they haven't gotten any penalties. I think he told us that 3 times. Got to stay out of the box. I talked to associate head coach Steve Miller about that, and I think he said it about 6 times to me. Obviously, you don't want that dynamic 3rd-ranked power play on the ice for Boston University because that, you know, just can sway momentum. But right now, I think he's concerned about getting his team back going north. No shots on goal yet for the Gophers in the second. Need to get onto the forecheck, create some chances off turnovers.
That's what they did against Omaha. Created chances off of turnovers and capitalized on them. There's a shot from Peterson, held on to by Close. Some words exchanged in front of the net between a couple of guys who played each other in the Frozen 4 last year, Sam Stevens and Bryce Brodzinski.
Yeah, there's so much experience for almost, you know, most of the players on both teams. So you got to think that Minnesota is going to be able to react and punch back, but also BU is not going to want to allow them that. So it's a game of chess in terms of like swaying the momentum back and forth. And right now, BU's got it all on their side.
BU's been to 23 Frozen 4s. Minnesota's been to 23 Frozen 4s. Both teams trying to add another on to their illustrious histories today. They can punch that ticket. Lane Hudson, such a good puck mover out of his own end. Now the puck bleeds into the Minnesota zone. Willander pounces on it there, throws it over the net. Tuck on it in the corner. Rinzel came over to put a hit on him. Not before he got it. Over and across to Kaplan. Up to Willander. Trouble with it. Up at the point. Nevers with a nice play defensively, and he'll loft it up and out of play.
Went off the glass. Come out to the center ice circle, but yet Gophers lean on that line, that veteran line. 2 fifth-year players, and Nelson and Brodzinski, and Nevers a true senior. Another line here, younger players, Moore the first rounder, Snuggerud the first rounder for St. Louis. Need to get second and third groups.
Remember, our winner here goes on to play Denver in the Frozen Four. Oliver Moore floating into the zone with speed, forced wide there. A nice defensive play from Gavin McCarthy. Now it gets out in front of the net. Kurth had a chance there off the side of the cage. Luke Middlestat waltzing away from Harvey. Harvey, who scored the last goal for BU. That one's wide. Kester on it cross, fanning on an opportunity. Had some net to look at there. Oliver Moore had a good look. Now Kester down in below the goal line, activating from his defensive position. Will play it up to Middlestat. Tried to go back across that same spot for Moore. Off the stick of Harvey, though.
Yeah, stick by Harvey there. A couple things that Minnesota did in the first period well.
Minnesota gets a couple of fresh bodies on the ice. Snuggerud,
fresh bodies, Jason, and BU's stuck out there.
See if Minnesota can capitalize. Oh, off the bench, a shot, goal! Minnesota has tied it up. Looks like it was Huglin.
Lamb with the shot. He's the guy that they come off the bench. Karan made an unbelievable save here as Minnesota's able to make a couple changes. BU players are stuck. Middlestat waits it out. Finds Lamb on the backside. Look at this. Great save by Karan, but Huglin in front of the net picks up the loose change and ties this game up. You could feel that coming, the way Minnesota was carrying the play, able to get a change, fresh bodies out there.
For Huglin, it is his 13th of the season. Celebrini back here.
Offside play.
Whistle, yep, offside. 10:20 to go, second period. Back and forth we go.
What a save, but Huglin able to stick with it there. That's where you score goals, get in front of the net. Aaron Huglin, a great two-way centerman. 13 goals on the season, but top penalty killer for the Gophers as well.
Buffalo Sabres draft pick, had 3 goals in 4 games entering the NCAA tournament, was on a hot streak. Each team continues to counterpunch and answer back. Oh, Celebrini may have had a look there. Has he been able to settle down that puck? This line goes back to work for Minnesota, for BU. And now it's Harvey up to the line. And a puck held on to by Close off the shot from Willander. And 3-3 with 9:46 to go in this second period. Aaron Huglin and the Gophers celebrating a tied-up game.
In Sioux Falls, South Dakota, joined by Boston University head coach Jay Pandolfo. Coach, man, the sways, the roller coaster of this game, back and forth, momentum-wise. What have you liked from your team in this second period?
Yeah, I like the pace we're playing at in the second here. Obviously, they had that last shift there. They got some momentum, but we just got to get back to playing our game here, get pucks behind them, and go to work.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Offensive zone faceoff coming up for Coach Pandolfo's team. Celebrini will take it. Jackson Nelson wins the draw for Minnesota. What a game this has been. Back and forth we go. 3-all. Huge stage, regional final. Nelson, who scored the first goal of the game, carrying it in against Lane Hudson. Ultra talented on ultra talented there. Now Willander taps it out. Macklin Celebrini corrals it. Lead it ahead along the wall. Back out, trying to track it down. It's you-know-who. Nelson, a backhand bid. And a save made by Karan. Thomas was trailing the play. And Nelson had a good look there. He'll get off the ice. Gophers not done yet. Start this shift in the offensive zone for Oliver Moore and company. Moore trying to work his way out. Not a lot of real estate to work with. In behind the goal, tried to throw it out in front for Snuggerud. Sharp angle shot denied. Now and back once again, Oliver Moore operates there. Luke Middlestat, leave it off Snuggerud's one-timer. Off the pad of Karan. And now back in behind the BU goal it goes.
Another long shift from Boston University here. Gophers have made some changes.
A little deja vu from that last goal. And that puck nearly got through. Back out it goes. Middlestat looking. Kester now. Kester along the line. Over to Luke Middlestat. Watched by Macklin Celebrini. Off the stick plate of Zabonnet. Can they get it out? They can't. Nice hold there from Middlestat. On a second effort, they do. Puck available in front of the benches. Scooped up with speed. Hudson. Little pirouette. Nice move. Peterson takes it behind the net.
Are we lucky or what?
Are we lucky?
These guys out here right now.
Best
Unbelievable.
seat in the house, Cappy. This is a lot of fun. Here comes Snuggerud on the move over to Kirk, just out of his reach. Might have had a look had he been able to settle down that pass.
Yeah, kind of that in-between area. If he was a left-handed shot, maybe a better chance of catching it.
Roped around, John Middlestat off the bench, put it in deep, up to the line. This line scored the other day for Minnesota. Got the puck towards the net, off a body though there. Can BU break out here? Room to roam through center for Stevens, who scored himself the other day against RIT. Puck in back of the goal, collision there. Clark put it up the wall, 7:22 to go. Second period. Transition game through center again for Minnesota. Ice opening up here. That puck off the pad of Karan. BU breaks out once more. Stevens will backhand it in. Changes being made for BU. Chesley put his shoulder there into the body of Kaplan. Big hit in the corner. Gophers break out. Strobel will loft it in. '29th all-time meeting between these teams dating back to 1963. It's been a special one to add to the history books between these two very historic college hockey programs. 6:35 to go. Gonna look at this chance here again for Jackson Nelson.
So he's human, I guess.
Yeah, a little
But
bit.
another chance. Great save here. Tries to go to the back and tries to go 5-hole. Karan does a great job of keeping those legs tight. Jackson Nelson on fire. See that 11 goals in 8. This 8th game, so not even quite through with this 8th one yet, but Karan able to make a big save and sway that momentum. This game is just back and forth. It's been incredible.
You told me after the game when they beat Omaha on Thursday night, that was about just as emotional, as excited as you've ever seen Jackson Nelson, who's very cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't want his college career to end, right? He's done it for 5 years. He clearly loves being a Golden Gopher. So he put it on his shoulders, and hockey's not as easy like that of basketball where you just, hey, give me the ball and I'll go. But he was able to make some plays, and he was not going to be denied another college hockey game tonight, and he's looking for another Frozen Four appearance.
He's on the ice here, has the puck, throw it toward the net, off the skate of Willander. There's a reason why Jackson Nelson has that C on his sweater. Unfinished business for him and the Gophers, trying to get back to the Frozen Four, where these two programs played each other last year. That was a win for the Gophers, so a little chance at revenge today for BU. We're all knotted up at 3 apiece right now, under 6 to go in what has been an enthralling second period here in Sioux Falls. Macklin Celebrini trying to get the puck back in the corner. Minnesota, the more they can control the puck when 71 in white is on the ice, the better if you're a Gopher fan. Lane Hudson trying to get it back for BU. Plays it in below the goal line for Willander. And now they can get out with Celebrini. Over to Quinn Hudson. Waltzing through that high slot area. Connor Kurth badgering him with the stick. Case McCarthy, get it back to Hudson, little give and go. Hudson shifting through traffic, didn't get a shot off, but somehow got through a very, very tight area.
Slippery play. Quinn Hudson, an icing call.
The NCAA Men's Ice Hockey Championship is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Jason Ross Jr., Paul Caponigri with you. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now, Cappy. This is phenomenal stuff.
Just seen some awesome hockey earlier today. Denver punches their ticket. Going to be, I believe, the first double-digit national titles. They're at 9. There's going to be a lot of experience, Frozen Four-wise, no matter who wins these games. And, man, you're seeing why these programs have been so good for so many years.
Some work in the corner here from Zabonnet. Will play it around the net. Up to the line. Lane Hudson dancing past Middlestat. What a move. Hudson centers! Score! And Stevens looked like he was out in front there.
That was all Lane Hudson, though. He takes advantage. This is the first time they've had the upper hand on the fourth line of the Golden Gophers. I can't tell right now. Let's get a better look here.
They've been all Hudson.
That might have went off the skate of Chesley in front. That might have been all Lane Hudson. This will get a good look right here. You see Chesley's body. It just went off of Justin Close, I think.
Yep.
He's trying to look for Stevens there. Second time tonight that a puck has gone off Justin Close's pad from the side of the net. But, you know, Lane Hudson just puts so much pressure on a team. He dances around like that. If he beats your first man, you got to account for him. You might leave your man in front. That's going to leave somebody open, or it's just going to cause chaos in front of the net, which it did. And found the back of the net.
Brings you so much offense, so much dynamic capabilities from the blue line. Such a bright future ahead for Lane Hudson. Had a goal and an assist in the regional semifinal win over RIT. He's back at it today, and BU is back in front.
What did I say? Maybe a 7-6 game today?
I wouldn't argue with you
way?
there. I mean, every shift, you cannot look down. Up ahead, Harvey, who has scored today as well. Going to be saying that about a few different players at the end of this one.
I don't think the coaches will want that, but
offensive
I'm okay with it.
Speaking of scoring, here's Macklin Celebrini, who has a highlight reel, maybe SportsCenter top 10 caliber assist in this game already. Here's Quinn Hudson, brother of Lane, with a shot saved by Close with the glove. 4-3 BU after Lane Hudson adds on to his highlight reel. 2:53 to go in the second. We'll see where it ranks potentially on SportsCenter top
7. Okay, we might have a few more coming in this game.
Highlights to look at for that. Yeah, you're right. Well, let's look at this. So, playing in the Frozen Four in your home state, Minnesota, if they can potentially punch a ticket today to St. Paul, they could be adding on to this list here. That's what Bob Motzko's goal is, but his team right now is down a goal after Lane Hudson's last goal for BU.
I just want one more note. We'll try to give Andrew, so he's not sweating in the studio as a goaltender.
Don't want to be a goalie in this.
Hey, it's a big, fraternity. They don't like seeing all these goals, but I'm on the other side of that. Give me all the goals.
Macklin Celebrini line on the ice here for BU. Won that draw, couldn't quite get it to the slot. Willander plays it back out to center. Now Jack Hughes moving and grooving into the Minnesota zone. Oh, sling it around for Celebrini. Has a peek over his shoulder. Nice little twirl move against Chesley. Not easy to work against Chesley.
Two guys over there to get that puck away from 71.
You need more than
White.
one.
Yep.
CBU 21-2-0 and scoring 4 or more goals. This Minnesota team can score with the best of them as well. In wins this year, Minnesota averages about 4 goals. In losses, about 2. Here's Snuggerud moving in, a blast and a save from Perron. Juicy Karam all the way back out to center. 2 minutes to go, second period.
That puck got lost in space after that bomb from Snuggerud. Gophers need 81 to get going.
There's Zabonet, Toronto native. Offside the play as BU was entering the zone. Look here again at Snuggerud.
Also good angle. Kind of knew his guys were changing. Gopher broke around with a nice kick save. That puck couldn't find it for about 6 seconds after that. Jimmy Snuggerud, key player here, especially now down a goal late in the second period. 21 on the year. He's an electric player with the puck on his stick.
Would you say different type of game Minnesota's had to play today versus Thursday?
Well, I mean, it's not as high checking. It's more fast paced, looking for turnovers, looking to transition the other direction. It's not as much grinding in for battles for pucks in the corners. It's a lot of back and forth and a lot of more skilled plays being made from both sides.
Kester cruising up the ice. There's several Minnesota natives on the roster. He'll dump it in, then hop off. Uglin played it around. Minnesota with under a minute to go in the second period. They've been able to hem BU in their own end a couple of times and extend some shifts. Now out to the line, Rinzel looking for a lane to shoot through. That puck sizzles wide. Kyle Thomas took a hit to get it down the wall. Kaplan put his shoulder into him. Another hit in behind the net there. This time from Case McCarthy. Up to the line, but not out. Rinzel was there to hold it in. Now Thomas with 28 seconds left in the period. They jam away, and it's loose and available. BU trying to get it out. They can't. Thomas once again at that point to hold the puck in. Pitlick just threw it out to the slot. Stevens there to pick it off, and he will lug it out to center ice and dump it in and hop off the ice.
Good play by Stevens getting that red line.
5 seconds to go in the period. Snuggerud and Kurth looking for a buzzer beater that they will not get. 4-3.
Might have been an offside before the last second.
The previous play is under review to check the game clock.
Might have been a second and a half. I don't think there'll be much of a harm or foul if there's a 1 second or so from a neutral zone face-up, but got to get things right.
Might come back out here for one more face-off. Looks like they will.
I mean, for me too. I didn't know if I saw it. It didn't look like an offside play, but looks like we're going to have maybe a second.
CJ Pandolfo there, who played for BU, was on their national title team in 1995.
The situation, if they put a second on, it's almost like an NFL game where you're going to take a knee.
Yeah, pretty much.
With 4 seconds left in the half.
After video review, the clock will be set to 1 second.
Yeah. Maybe just a stat here that LaChance and Moore face-off win to end the period.
Well, they're doing it.
Shane will get that.
Yep. 4-3, BU up after 2 periods of play. We'll send it to the boys in the studio. This regional final between Minnesota and BU has not disappointed. A wild 4-goal second period has put BU back in front 4-3. This has been an absolute blast. Jason Ross Jr., Paul Caponigri with you here in Sioux Falls. Spot in the Frozen Four on the line between these two teams, Cappy. We were saying, I don't know what's going to happen in this third period, and that's what you love about it.
But you expect it to be great, I think. Right. Does BU want any more goals? Probably not, but I'm expecting more offense. This is Minnesota's last chance. So back and forth we've gone. I thought BU had a really outstanding period, took advantage of some turnovers. And, you know, it started with that guy. And when I say that guy, it's number 71, Macklin Celebrini with the dangle, then the dish over to Shane LaChance, and then a really good effort again by LaChance, and then a wicked shot from Jack Harvey to give BU the lead. Then Aaron Huglin camped out in front, ties it back up, and then Lane Hudson just so dangerous, causes chaos and slips it past Justin Close.
These stats here, again, 3 of the 4 goals in this period were scored by BU, and they take a 4-3 lead heading into the third. This is going to be fun. Buckle up, 1 period left in regulation. Spot in the Frozen Four on the line. 2 royalty programs in college hockey going head-to-head. Has not disappointed.
What does Bob Motzko have up his sleeve? One thing of note, not one penalty in this game. I can't really recall. There was one maybe play in neutral zone where Oliver Moore got taken down, but everything other than that, it's been a really well-played game. Clean, hard. But I'm sure these.
Brodzinski will slip it across. Nelson scored earlier. Shot there, held on to by Karan.
I mean, it's getting to the point where you're almost expecting it, but Karan's had a couple chances against him with Nelson. Nice pass from Nevers there. Kind of had the angle, very aggressive movement from Karan, taking it away. Not much room for Nelson there. The grad, he's only junior. Transfer from Brown.
Here comes Celebrini into the zone. A little nifty move to the slot. Just slipped off his stick blade thanks to the defensive stick of Mike Kester. Cade Weber trying to track back to this puck for BU. Kurth there for Minnesota. Now Chesley slings it towards the net. Good block there from Weber. Such a big body in front of that net. 6'7", 216.
Looks like maybe a little subtle change in lines for the Gophers. Putting Kurth back with Huglin and Lamb. That was a line that played most of the season together. Jimmy Clark and Moore and Snuggerud. Jimmy Clark's been elevated.
Yep. Jimmy Clark scored the other day. Interesting that he gets elevated here. Oliver Moore. We're in the corner for Snuggerud. Sweep it up to the line. Carl Fish. Now Chesley was a big shot up at the point. They get it into the slot. Never got through. Swept out. Wynn Hudson trying to catch up to it. Fish did well to fend him off. Nice little sidestep move. Jack Hughes patiently waiting. Tried to maneuver past. Attempted to get it out in front there. Now Sam Stevens, who's been really good in the postseason. (4-3) BU. 2 minutes into this third. Jason Ross Jr. with Paul Caponigri here in Sioux Falls. And a blast there coming off the stick of Gallagher. Blocked.
Nevers there. Done a lot of really good small things for the Gophers tonight. Another blocked shot.
Nevers, a player who dealt with a concussion early on in the season, wasn't really quite himself until early January after Christmas, and was so good for Minnesota last year. But he can, his guy, as you saw there, can impact the game without scoring. Nice move there from Peterson. The trailer was Zaboneh. Rinzel navigates out to center. Celebrini cuts him off and strips him of the puck.
You just salivate as an NHL.
Tuck looking, shot, and a nice blast there from Kaplan, but a better save from Close.
Back check from Macklin Celebrini, playing a 200-foot game. Yeah, you get all the points, the goals, and assists, but that's what NHL GMs love about him, is his 200-foot game, compete level.
Plenty of scouts here today and watching around North America. 27 total players in this game that have heard their name called in the NHL draft, not including Macklin Celebrini, who will likely be the #1 overall pick in the upcoming draft. This game chock full of talent, but those plays that Celebrini made on the back check there, those are going to be the plays that perhaps decide this hockey game, or whoever touches the puck last. In a game like this, we might get to 7 goals. Whoever can get to 7 first might win this one. In with speed come the Gophers. Snuggerud shot high.
Just a hair off. I think he was surprised by the time he had there.
We'll see tomorrow Quinnipiac and Boston College, Michigan State and Michigan. Those matchups for a spot in the Frozen Four. A couple of regional final games.
Tons of experience for Michigan. Michigan State, on the other hand, in the past has, but hasn't been. This is their first trip to the NCAA tournament in 12 years.
Back on the big stage, Spartans. They won in overtime in comeback fashion against Western Michigan.
2 goals in the last third period, one with a minute left to go.
Quinnipiac also with an overtime victory over Wisconsin yesterday. Evers will curl and take the space he's offered, operates into the zone with this line that has been so lucrative for Minnesota. Nelson had a sharp angle shot that was nullified, never quite got through. Puck floats out to center. It's been bouncing and hopping around, like you said, Cappy. Gotta look out wherever it bounces. Brodzinski ran into 2 white shirts, one of them Macklin Celebrini. Now turning, quick re-entry for Minnesota. Nelson tried to slip it over to Kurth, couldn't. Now with his head up and room to roam, Macklin Celebrini. Little move to his backhand. Puck rolls out to the line. Long shot there, coming off the stick of Gavin McCarthy. Fended off easily. Lane Hudson put it over, tried to center there. In front, in the slot, was Peterson. Zaboneh doing work in the corner. He gets it back. Zaboneh's been on a heater lately. Goes to his backhand here, curls around. Hudson drag shot and a save from Close. Hudson was looking for his 2nd goal of the game. Had a dazzling one earlier.
Big save there from Close. Keep this a 1-shot game for the Gophers.
Celebrini still out there. Now he's going to go change. BU finishes up the line change. Puck kissed off the stick of Kaplan on a Luke Middlestat. Kaplan some nice aggressive work though. Minnesota forges out. Oliver Moore crunched up against the glass. Ran out of real estate there.
First-round pick battle there.
Tom Willander, the other first-round pick. He of the Vancouver Canucks. Moore of the Blackhawks.
Media timeout.
4-3, BU up, 13:23 to go. Winner to the Frozen Four. again. We'll have the final game of the women's basketball Sweet 16. It's Paige Beckers and UConn taking on Duke out in Portland, Oregon. That should be a good matchup. The UConn men have punched their ticket to the Final Four. This would be a game to try to get to the Elite Eight on the women's side. So here are the three sets of brothers for BU. You've got the Hudsons, the Celebrinis, and the McCarthys. You know, you look at that, but when you talk to these players, they feel they're all brothers. And they tried to have that mentality all season long, where it's a brotherhood, we're a family, we're going to approach it that way, and you see it in the chemistry of this BU team.
Yeah, I think it's a little easier to say that when you have three sets of brothers on a team. Pretty cool stuff, though, to be able to play college hockey with your brother. It's good enough you get to maybe do it in youth hockey or maybe even high school, but to get it at the college level is pretty good stuff.
You mentioned Jimmy Clark moved up to this line, fed it over and across for Middlestat, who was down from his point position there defensively. Snuggerud was also on that side.
What a pass by Clark.
Yeah. That's been the change in lines for Minnesota in this game, and it's working out with the play of Jimmy Clark so far.
You've seen it before. Been able to do some Gopher games in the past. Just small little tweaks in the lineup. Can make changes. They've done that. It's worked. We asked ourselves, what's Bob Motzko going to do here in the third period? Work a little magic to get the game turned on their side.
Now he puts the Jackson Nelson line out there. Nelson wins the draw. He's been doing that consistently, really good in the dot in this game today. Luck goes across the zone. Nevers will put it down low to Nelson, goes around. Macklin, Celebrini, a lot of talent on the ice for both sides. These forward lines going head to head. In comes Quinn Hudson. He'll slip it around. Celebrini takes a bump from Nelson. Keep an eye on those two going head to head behind the net. And now up to the line. Gallagher holds it in. Over to Quinn Hudson. Snaps it towards the slot. Hudson pounces right back on the puck. Can they get some sustained offensive zone time with this line out there? It's Lane Hudson, tight rope in the line, and showcasing his nifty edge work. Drops it off to Celebrini, trying to dance around Carl Fish. Loops back up to the line, surveys. There's Quinn Hudson now. Already scored today. Celebrini, one-timer. And close holds on.
Back and forth. Hudson, Celebrini. I mean, they probably just do this like they're out in the pond right now. Circling around, back and forth they go. This is the end of the play. Not the grade A chance, but
offensive zone draw win. Close couldn't secure the rebound. However, Hugelin does for Minnesota, and he can navigate out. When we saw this matchup, we were salivating over it. I've been seeing the last couple of days the snippet from Miracle on Ice, the roster scene getting put out on the internet. A lot of guys from Minnesota and Boston. That'll work. It has worked so far. Been a really entertaining matchup. Puck available and batted out. Knifed over to Rinzel. Nice little no-look pass. Hugelin shot blocked. Laying out there was Peterson. Another block. Gallagher blocked it.
4 Terriers down on their side. Might be something for Minnesota to take a look at.
Gallagher kind of holding his shoulder as he went back over to the BU bench. Boy, a game like this.
Paying the price.
Yep. Trying to get to the Frozen Four and leaving it all out there on the ice to try to get there.
Really good play from BU there, but 4 men down. Something to look at. Coaching staff can look really quick. Talk to Thomas about that. Hey, look at them. They're going down in packs. Fake that shot. Look for a guy on the side of the net.
More bodies bumping along the wall. Middlestat couldn't hold that in. Tuck racing after him. Middlestat, a really good skater, will loft it diagonally in, and both sides get line changes. Bodies hopping over the bench. Minnesota went 23-10-5 up to this point. This BU team 27-9-2 on the year. Everything on the line in these final 10 minutes of the third period here in Sioux Falls. Both teams have been to 23 Frozen Fours respectively. That puck went across the ice. Harvey on it in the corner, working against Nevers, two relatively smaller guys in stature that play much bigger than they are.
Good read there by Hudson. Feels that pressure on his back shoulder, spins off quick.
We often say that about the best guys in our game, ability to think 1-2 steps ahead. Lane Hudson has that.
And those little plays now, we're getting under 10 minutes. 1 goal game, those little plays can turn into big plays.
Saw Minnesota the other day come back from down a goal to beat Omaha. Do they have another comeback in them? Kurth enters the zone cleanly. Now Hughlin pulls up in the corner. Trying to take the puck away from him was McCarthy. Blast from the point, defended aside. Kurth was at the side of the net, and Karan was out in the blue paint. Bodies bumping in front again. Hughlin gets it back, up to the line. Puck got through, and Karan holds on.
Man, another one of those plays. Game of inches. We are under 10. 1 goal game here in Sioux Falls.
Playing for. First, you got to lock up a ticket to the Frozen Four. That's what Minnesota and BU are trying to do in this regional final game. BU up by a goal with 8:36 to go. Potentially minutes away from becoming the 2nd and 1 seed to advance to the Frozen Four. Winner of this one will go on to play Denver. And you see up top those games taking place tomorrow. Michigan State and Michigan, Quinnipiac and BC.
Chalk bracket still available.
But here we go. 8:33 to go. Minnesota will come out of the break and start this shift in the offensive zone after the face-off win. BU trying to get it out. Nice play from Luke Middlestad along the wall. Now Middlestat in the corner once again. Guy who was on the team that went to the national title last year. Here comes Zabonet operating into the offensive zone. Will leave it off. A wrist shot there from Peterson. Blocked out in front. Kester might have gotten a piece of that. He's feeling it a little bit too as he tries to get back into the play defensively. Seen some really good shot blocks over the last few minutes. No goals in this period so far. We had 4 total in the second period, 3 of which were scored by BU to take this 4-3 lead.
Risky but good play by Case McCarthy there. He doesn't get to that puck before Moore. He might be off to the races.
Macklin Celebrini throws it out. What a pass. Tough shot, save from close. Celebrini was looking for his 2nd assist of the game, but the denial from close keeps it a 1-goal game. Now Celebrini lost an edge. Here comes Nelson with Brodzinski. 2-on-1. Brodzinski fanned on the shot. Oh, what a chance to tie it. Celebrini lost an edge up near the line. And that dynamic duo of Brodzinski and Nelson, they've already linked up once today. Nearly linked up again for a game-tying goal.
Wow, what a game of inches, or a matter of a unlucky play than a lucky play for BU.
How Lane Hudson got to keep your head on a swivel when he's rolling down the wall. He leaves it out in the slot. Kurth fighting his way out. Harvey lost his stick. Hughlin claims the puck. Smeagol's past Harvey to the corner, up to the line for Rinzel. Little pirouette move, nifty move. Rinzel looking and shooting, blocked out in front.
Bodies everywhere there.
Everyone's laying out each moment, each shift, so important. Both sides get changes. Time to calculate the situation for BU. Turnover. Stevens, center, shot saved by Close. Rebound and a shot that goes wide from Hughes.
Too close to the goal line, didn't have the angle. Had the empty side, but tough angle to try to put that one past Close.
That puck took an awkward hop off the corner boards. Minnesota gets it back. Pitlick Below the dot, they go to work. Now up to Chesley. Puck banked off awkwardly again in front. And a clearance from Stevens.
Smart play. Get an icing call. Smart play by Chesley. Playing billiards. Just Jackson Nelson, a little nudge to Salbrini's backside and gives him the 2-on-1. Watch this. These guys have lined up so many 2-on-1s in their days in games and practices, unable to connect. Hopefully, for these guys' case, they get another opportunity.
They're back out there again. Brodzinski's shot. Nelson at the side of the net. Back to Brodzinski. Might see a lot of those two down the final 5 minutes here. Middlestat launches it wide. Stevens trying to clear. Couldn't. Brodzinski back to Kester. Slips it on across. Now Nevers twirls and deals over to Brodzinski. Patiently looking, back up Kester, blocked. Oh, boy, BU laying their bodies out. Now it's Hughes kind of limping.
That was flat out like Jack Hughes used to play goalie. He went into the full butterfly there. Andrew give his expertise on that leg save. He might have got a glove on it there in the slot.
Bugelin, Brodzinski, wrister, and it's held on to by Karan. 4:40 to go. 1 goal game. Ticket to the Frozen Four on the line. Stick around. Welcome back to Sioux Falls. To see most championship titles of programs in D1 hockey. Denver, Michigan, North Dakota. These are some of the blue bloods of the game. Wisconsin with 6. They went down yesterday to Quinnipiac. Look at these groups. Minnesota amidst them. BU, BC, 5-5-5. BU's last coming in 2009. Golden Gophers last in the early 2000s. All playing for a trip to St. Paul, Minnesota, where the Frozen Four will take place. You see the semis, April 11th. All of this, by the way, on ESPN. The championship, April 13th at 6 Eastern time. Bob Motzko's team played in that championship last year. They lost in overtime to Quinnipiac. Some unfinished business for them. BU made the Frozen Four. They lost to this Minnesota team in the Frozen Four. Each of these teams have 23 Frozen Four appearances. Just incredible history on display with these programs today.
And pass.
Remember yesterday, Michigan State came back to win, but ultimately in overtime and tied the game with the goal from get an extra skater on under a minute to go to knot it up against Western Michigan. You never know what can happen in these games. Still, of course, more time than that left in this one with 4.5 to play. Start to get into that territory. Maybe in a couple of minutes, you wonder when they pull Justin Close to get the extra skater on. Minnesota with the puck. Cade Weber, who's been really good today, maybe in ways that won't necessarily show up on the stat sheet, launches it down the wing into the Minnesota end.
Making winning plays there. Getting pucks deep, making the Gophers come 200 feet.
Bugelin coming in hot, couldn't settle down the puck. Up to the line, though, not out initially. Tuck on a second effort, plays it out. And ultimately into the Minnesota bench.
BU making some subtle winning plays. That's Habenet. Gets the puck deep. Winning that puck at the blue line. So important right now for BU. Get pucks deep. Get pucks out. Blue lines, critical areas on the ice for them now. And for Minnesota, you're under 5. You're bringing one, maybe 2 defensemen at times, trying to create offense now. It's that time in the game.
Trying to get it out here. They can't. Centering pass. Kaplan on the doorstep. Tuck tried to put it past Close. Couldn't. Game-saving moments from Justin Close in between the pipes there. Been a clean game, no penalties. Now Tuck easily enters the zone, moves to his backhand, back to his forehand. Pretty move. Couldn't put it past close. 3:10 to go in the third period. 1-goal game. BU trying to hang on.
Like he had him there, just lost control of the puck.
Couple of beautiful moves didn't result in a goal. Jackson Nelson, he has a goal in this game. Navigating into the zone. Here comes Nelson. Worked off the puck there in behind by Willander, the first-round pick of the Vancouver Canucks, showing why. Now Weber gets it back. Grad student, experienced player, trying to get back to a frozen four. Minnesota right back into the zone, though. Chesley at the line, plays it towards the net, blocked out in front, looked like Weber again. Chesley on the reload, another block, it was Weber again.
And is that goal gonna be pulled? Getting close to 2 minutes on the clock. Watch for Justin Close.
Not out yet. Minnesota holds the line thanks to Kester. 2:06 to go, icing call. So puck will go back down to the opposite end, into the BU zone, and you wonder how
that opportunity.
Yep.
BU might look to maybe take a timeout here. Some tired legs. Gophers get fresh legs out there and a 6-on-5. That Coach Pandolfo looked like he might have said he wants a timeout. Try to survive it here. Hold on to it.
Extra skater on for Minnesota. They get the draw, spread it up the slot where Snuggerud was, and it got past Rinzel. Willander takes a peek over his shoulder as Connor Kurth flying right at him. Ultimately, they get the puck out, dribbling towards the empty net. There it is! And BU goes up 2 goals with 1:45 to go.
How fitting. Who scores that goal? The 5th-year captain, Case McCarthy. Just a 60-degree lob wedge. Just trying to get it out, but puts it right into the middle of the net. A man that got injured last year in the Hockey East final was not able to participate in the NCAAs. That's got to just be a great feeling for the captain of BU. I don't think he had any intention of getting that puck on goal. He was just trying to get it out to center ice, but that puck just kept going and going and goes into the back of the net.
BU fans can feel a frozen four now, up 2 goals with 1:35 to go. Like you said, Case McCarthy had a broken collarbone in the Hockey East semis last year. Wasn't able to play in the NCAA tournament. Very motivated. That was such a tough pill to swallow for him. To be back and to score that goal, potentially to put the icing on the cake.
Yeah, let's keep it here. They're going back to the empty net. There's still 1:35 if the Gophers need to get one. I'd say in the first 35 seconds or so, leave themselves a minute, but this game's not quite over yet, folks.
Seen crazier things. McCarthy wraps it around again. Snuggerud held it in, but just for a moment. Now an empty net to look at for Tuck. Nice defensive play to get back from Snuggerud to keep Minnesota's slim hopes alive. Puck goes out of play into the netting.
Nelson a little too much height on that one. We're gonna get a center ice face-off. It looks like Justin Close is going to go back into the net. BU's played a great third period, holding a lead. Has kept Minnesota's shot count down significantly. Impressive stuff from BU here.
That empty netter is the only goal of this period after 4 total goals were scored in the second. Like you said, things tightened up here in the third. Inside of a minute to go for Minnesota. Extra skater on for the Gophers. They'll need some magic in the final minute. Snuggerud trying to corral it, works his way around Karan's net. Attempted to center there, couldn't. Snuggerud attempting to get the puck back. Now a shot, sharp angle bid. Can they stuff it home? Can't. It's out to the line. Middlestead can hold it in, and it'll be Stevens, and this will be the icing on the cake for BU.
I think that scene right there shows it all. Boston University Terriers essentially come on the road into Sioux Falls in this game. You're looking at maybe 95% of this arena filled with Gopher fans. And they play a great third period, selling out to block shots, getting pucks deep, getting pucks out of the zone. And then really almost a clinic of how to play 6-on-5. Getting rewarded there. Macklin Celebrini, another assist, getting that puck up to Stevens, winning that battle on the wall. And boy, they punched all the right chords late in this hockey game.
A BU team that lost to Minnesota in the Frozen Four last year. They're going to avenge that loss.
Smile from Coach Pandolfo there.
Now BU, they've got some unfinished business, and they're going to get back to the Frozen Four. With this win over Minnesota, they'll punch a ticket to St. Paul. It'll be their 24th appearance in the Frozen Four. BU moves on. Denver awaits. The emotions on the opposite side for a Minnesota team that was so close last year and put in so much effort with different personnel to get back to this point. But BU's excellent season, a team full of incredible skill and talent, got the job done, as you said, defensively down the stretch.
That's what it took. You know, we did talk. There were so many goals in the first two periods. Sometimes it's the law of averages. Things even out. You got to give Boston University a ton of credit. They took every punch from Minnesota in that third period, limited them to not very many scoring chances, to be frank. This Minnesota team, kind of a story of their season, a lot of ebbs and flows, a roller coaster. You thought late in that first period, they're up 2-0, playing so well, they get kind of, BU gets a little bit of a lucky goal. That's what it takes. You come to this tournament playing these high-level teams. You'll take every little break you can get. They took that one early and catapulted them to a regional championship and another Frozen Four.
A BU team that had a relatively slow start to the season after they were the preseason #1 in Hockey East. Didn't start out as they maybe planned, but were able to find their groove. Players told us the other day, we found a way to start finishing games, find consistency, that note of finishing games. They did that today. So now they'll match up with Denver. April 11th, that Frozen Four matchup. Any early thoughts there?
I mean, we got two of the top teams in the country. #1 seeds go on. I look at David Carl's team. Maybe they have Massimo Rizzo back, their top scoring forward. High octane. You're going to see some unbelievable defensemen. The ability to play on the back end. The Sean Bearonses, the Zeeb Booyums against the Landers and Lane Hudson. You're just, the skating and the skill. It's going to be awesome stuff. An exciting Frozen Four matchup.
Let's bring in Jay Pandolfo, head coach for BU.